Is aquaculture the way of the future, and why I stopped the fish farm? First, let me explain to you briefly what aquaculture is. Aquaculture is raising aquatic life in a controlled environment, whether it's fish or algae and anything in between. It's just farming in water, essentially, is aquaculture. So if it's not obvious, I do aquaculture. I started a fish farm raising Atlantic croakers for bait fish purposes. A croaker is a highly sought after bait fish used to catch a variety of different game fishes here in Florida, and it has a pretty interesting market value, and the reason why I chose it. Atlantic croakers as bait fish is already established market distributed by commercial fishermen. If commercial fishermen already supply fishermen and bait stores with croakers, where does the fish farming and the aquaculture fit in? Although it's the same product, croaker, the farm-raised croaker and a wild croaker are completely different, uncomparable. I don't even know where to start when it comes to trying to compare a wild croaker versus a croaker that I raised in the farm. I guess we could start with what it is. It's a live bait, and you want it as lively as possible. And when you take a farm-raised croaker that has been conditioned its whole life in captivity, it is the most lively of the live baits. A wild croaker is either cast netted or hook and line, taken from the wild into a captive environment like the farm. It doesn't adapt well. It's an uncomprehendable amount of stress that you put that fish through, and it rolls over into the product. It's just not as lively as the farm raised. That's the actual product. The farm raised is a higher quality product than the wild croaker. Next, let's talk about getting the product to you. With the wild, you have to rely on the wild stock. That's either the weather's bad and you can't catch the fish if you're commercial fishing, or the fish just aren't there depending on the time of year. There's better times of year to catch croakers than others. It's inconsistent. Commercial fishing for croakers is inconsistent. So when it talks about getting a product to a bait store or the fisherman, when you have a farm-raised fish, it's consistent. No matter what time of year it is, no matter the weather, I was able to get the product to the bait store or the fisherman. Comparing them, it's a better product and it's a more consistent product. Another way I could separate myself from commercial fishermen is I could reach a whole nother clientele base through aquaculture, and let me explain that. In order to sell live bait at a bait store, you have to hold the live bait. The only way to hold live bait is if you're on a saltwater source, so you have a flow-through system that is sufficient enough to keep clean water for the bait fish. Well, my whole entire farm isn't anywhere near the river. I have relied on aquaculture systems, keep the water extremely clean to raise bait. So I'm feeding them constantly. And the new client base was bait stores that never could hold bait. I would offer them the service. I can build a holding facility. This way you can hold any bait fish you need, and then you bought bait from me. And I did this in Fort Pierce to an awesome bait store, DeBrooks, downtown. If you're there, check them out. I put in a small tank with a bead filter. That way they can hold bait, and unfortunately I won't be supplying them because I'm stopping this. To DeBrooks, good luck. I hope you find a supplier and you can hold bait now. To any bait stores out there, I can still do this. If you can't hold bait because you're not on a water source, there is systems that can be built. That way you can hold hundreds, if not thousands of croaker at a time. Just like anything, money and time is the limiting factor. The more money and time you put into a system, the more bait you can hold. So why am I stopping the croaker farm? Well, with the superior product comes a higher price, and it just costs more to raise the croakers than it does to catch the croakers. The market just isn't ready for that higher price. I don't blame the fishermen. I'm double the price of a wild croaker, and $4 a fish is a lot for most fishermen. I think the market would eventually catch up to the prices, but I'm not going to wait around for that to happen. I'm going to take the aquaculture and move on to a new species, and I'm going to figure this out. And that comes to answering the other question, is aquaculture the future? I wholeheartedly believe that aquaculture is the future. whether it comes to feeding the growing population or creating biodiesels and everything in between. Aquaculture is in everyday life already, and it will continue to grow. So I want to be a part of it. In an effort to try to convince the consumer that the aquaculture bait fish was a better product, I gave thousands of bait away to fishermen in bait store as a product samples, as any new company or new product would. So that's where I'm at now. I've got a couple hundred croakers left in this market study, and I'm going to bring them to a local bait store, E&J. This place is amazing, and the people that run it are even more amazing. That's why I don't mind giving them more croakers for free. We didn't necessarily agree on what the price of the croakers was going to be, but that doesn't mean we can't be friends, and I hope they enjoy these last bit of farm-raised croaker, for they are superior to the wild ones. And yeah. Eli! Yeah, no worries. Welcome to E&J's. This place, if you're in Port Orange, Florida, this is the bait store. NLBNs, if you don't want croakers. Hey, buddy. How you been?
Everything good?
Yeah, I'm giving up on the croakers.
Why?
Can't. It's a lot. It's a lot. People don't value the croakers like I value the croakers. That's it. For $2 a piece, I'm out. For now. No mas. But I've got a couple hundred here. E&J's. This is the best bait store in Florida.
Somebody. That's good.
Let's get the patenting pending blow-up mattress out of here. Okay, Peyton, can you get up here and park it now? I'll go slower next time. We did it. 200 of them. But they're from me. They're my gift to you guys.
For me? You know what?
They're my gift.
No way, why?
For real.
Serious?
I'm a socialism at heart.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, buddy.